All right, everybody, welcome. This is a very odd and, quite frankly, sad video that we are making. It kind of just happened as the news broke today, so we decided to get on here and share it with you. I am here with House of Rivalry. I'm here with my wonderful co-host,
Jared will.
Jared. Obviously, we've been talking outside of this. The biggest thing that we saw come out today was Sherrone Moore. He got fired. I mean, that
He gone.
I fully did not expect this to happen. Um, this was a very odd thing that I saw come through. Um, Obviously, allegedly, there was a inappropriate relations with somebody on staff at Michigan. Um, and then all of a sudden, you go a few hours, and then all of a sudden, you know, he was arrested. Then again, that broke.
It just kept getting worse as the night went on.
And that blew my mind because I was like, why would he go? Why would all that kind of happen? What transpired? What happened? Allegedly there was more news that broke after the arrest that he was arrested for assault. Again, that is a legend. We do not know the full story. We are breaking it as ESPN and everything as we see it. Um, but yeah, apparently, uh, obviously rumors go flying and everybody kind of has their, oh, this happened, oh, this happened, oh, this happened. All we're going to stick to for, our basis is he was fired for an inappropriate relationship with somebody on staff. Um, he then was proceeded to get arrested for alleged assault. Um, you know, What's kind of your initial take? I know, we see stuff like this kind of happen all over college football now. Back in the day with OU and Lincoln Riley, there was that rumor that he was sleeping with somebody on staff and his wife found out and his wife basically told him leave OU or I'm leaving you, basically was the ultimatum given. Again, that was rumors. No, there was nothing really came out of that, but that was a rumor. Obviously Lane Kiffin is notorious for this kind of thing. Urban Meyer, right? The list just goes on. What's kind of your initial thought, and what do you kind of feel about this situation?
I mean, first off, you don't want to joke about it because there's multiple parties included.
Exactly.
Whether it include the staffer, Sharon's family.
Hmm.
There's obviously going to be coaching staff implications that are going to follow. Like who's going to keep a job, who's going to lose a job. Because a new coach coming in is going to bring in new staff. So there's a whole lot of variables that something's going to change. We don't know what, but something's going to change and it's going to affect a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing too, right? When we roll down kind of the affected list here, right? Obviously, um, you know, prayers go out to his wife and his kids. Um, you know, that's kind of a tough situation to be put in, right? We go through and we look at these coaches and we critique every single aspect about them, and they're put on such a large spotlight, um, to where stuff like this it gets out. Um, you know, it just kind of rolls. And again, it is a very sad thing because we did see a lot of rumors flying around about something like this, and I don't want to get into that side. It is a very sad situation. But apparently, rumor coming out of it is this all came out of an anonymous tip because uh,
From a
uh,
DoorDash driver
uh,
because he delivered a Plan B.
yeah, there was a female a female hygiene item that was used uh, by people who have relations. Um, to me, the whole situation is sad, but I think to me that's kind of one of the craziest ways to get caught. Um,
Could have been
but
avoided.
it really could have. Apparently, that young lady on staff. Apparently, she is pregnant, and this is all allegedly. We
Mm.
don't know the full story. Apparently, and allegedly, that is the case. Apparently, she got pregnant with his child. Um, so it's a whole situation, right, that just seems so. that got blown out of proportion. So I do believe that, if he just would have, the firing happened, okay, you got released for this reason, and he just kind of would have, like, okay, it is what it is. I got fired. Here's why. I feel like he could have found another job somewhere pretty fairly easily. I mean, he kind of, he has the national championship on his record, right? He was a fairly decent offensive coordinator. He just had a 9-3 season. Um,
Had
he
two 93 seasons.
and I mean on top of that, right? You go in and I'm I don't know. It just there's a certain point in there that I'm just kind of like, why did it get to that level? And again, I don't want to know. I think,
Yeah,
obviously it's not talked about enough, but I do believe there was some, mental health things that went into it. And obviously athletes and mental health, they seem to always butt heads all the time. Um, and so I think that probably had something to do with it. Um, but it's just, it's
yeah.
crazy. You know, what it
I mean,
kind
just
of,
think about the last 24 hours. You go from a top 10 coaching job in the nation,
yeah,
not only fired, but arrested, and now in apparently it is being reported that he's in protective custody.
yeah,
Just a whirlwind of 24 hours.
yeah, and I think that's it's just a crazy thing, right? Like you're prepping your team to go play in the Cheez-Its Bowl to versus Texas, a good opponent which could, in theory, catapult your transfer portal and everything, your success next year. That win could catapult that. Now all of a sudden, now we're sitting here talking about,
I
okay,
like my Texas pick even more now.
yeah, exactly, right? Like we made those picks so early and so in advance that when something like this breaks out, right? Obviously, like things change. I think I'm still going to take Texas or Michigan because horns down. But um, this has a lot larger implications on the future of not just the staff but the players. And I think, um,
College football.
yeah, I mean, and naturally he was bound to lose some players anyways. Now Michigan is going to probably revert back to a time in their tenure, right, that they don't want to go back to. Um,
I don't
so
know. Michigan's got Michigan money, and Michigan money don't play.
and obviously Dave Portnoy, he's shelling out money left and right for his team to be successful. Um,
It's not even him. It's the CEO of Oracle. He's like the third richest man in America.
so I mean, I don't think they'll
Like
have a
his
problem.
last name's Ellington.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a problem finding a new head coach. I think let's kind of get into that, right? Like, what kind of does the coaching hires and stuff look like? Like, what is that? What's kind of that realm look like? I know, as we were talking, you had brought up a laundry list of stuff to talk about when it comes to the recruits and trying to retain players and coaching staff and stuff. Let's start at the coaching staff because I know that can change a lot of recruits coming in and out. Kind of who's in your top three do you think that could get this job?
All right, first, I think this name's going to be on top of any major job opening for the next 2 3 years.
Hmm.
Is Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer.
Okay.
He's offensive minded, which is becoming very popular now with head coaching options.
Yes, it is.
He's a great recruiter. He recruited well above his tab at Washington, which is not a place that recruits premier talent.
No, not
And
at
then he
all.
goes to Alabama and he's landing back to back top five classes. He's a winner. He wins
Hmm.
everywhere he goes. And lastly, quarterback development, man. I mean, who would have thought Michael Penix, former Indiana transfer, would have been a top 10 draft pick? I didn't like the draft pick, but it's still a top 10 draft pick under his resume.
Yeah, I honestly I don't mind the DeBoer. I don't mind the DeBoer take. I feel like he's probably set at Alabama, right? Alabama's gonna probably do everything they can to keep him. Um,
They probably will. It doesn't
and
mean they
so
can,
I
because,
mean,
again, Michigan's got Michigan money.
because what? That's back-to-back years. No, because OU actually kept them out of the playoffs last year. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's back-to-back years. You're in the top 25. I think you're like top 15 both years. I mean,
probably top 15 for sure.
yeah. I mean, there's no reason he would want to leave. Obviously, Michigan's Michigan, but I mean, he's at Alabama. Alabama's Alabama. Like there's it's not like, a situation where it's like an Ole Miss to an LSU. It's not like there's more money involved moving to LSU than there is staying at Ole Miss kind of in the Lane Kiffin era or the Lane Kiffin kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if you have this name on your list, but there was something that, one of our buddy who is a Michigan fan, right, Tyler, um, he brought up John Gruden. Um, I, I,
I don't see it. I want to
honestly,
see him coach at a smaller level. I know
mhm,
he's coaching the NFL. I know he's coaching the NFL, but he is not coached at the college level
yeah,
where you have to recruit a roster. You have to have daily meetings. You have to talk to those recruits.
yeah,
And then you got, on top of all that, you still got to coach the game. NFL, you
you
basically
just
just coach.
coach, yeah.
I feel
Uh,
like it's harder to coach at the college level than it is the NFL level, and you can see that firsthand at Chapel Hill with
yeah.
Bill Belichick.
But I don't mind that, right? He's come out publicly, John Gruden has, and said like he wants to coach for the SEC, like he wants to come to the SEC.
Yeah.
But could the
I
Michigan
really thought
opening?
Ole Miss was going to be one to watch with him.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like the SEC is where he wants to land, but could you see him possibly going to Michigan for a few years, seeing if A, he likes college coaching, and B, that kind of is that's almost like a slam dunk hire for Michigan in the sense of the name, the
I
accolades, and
disagree.
everything. I, again, right? Like
I
that.
think these
And
next two names I'm about to tell you are a lot better hire than John Gruden.
okay, okay,
And
oh,
I'm gonna have a fourth name too after I get rid of these three, who's kind of a wild card.
okay,
But
okay.
number
Let me
two,
let me hear the other two you got for me.
Lincoln Riley. And I know you don't want to hear that name. I know you don't, but he's got all the pedigree he needs. He's offensive
Yeah,
minded. He's an amazing offensive recruiter. And this year, just landed the number one recruiting class at USC.
yeah.
And let's be honest, Lincoln Riley is the best quarterback developer in the nation.
I can't. I mean, I can't
And
argue it, right? You got Baker,
I
you
would
got
hope you wouldn't.
Kyler, you got Caleb,
Jalen
you got
Hurts.
Jalen. Like
Jalen
you,
Hurts was not a second round draft pick when he got to OU.
yeah, and that's like the thing is like I can give credit where credit's due. I may not like him in the way that he handled the situation, but he's a good offensive minded coach. He's been in the Big Ten for the past couple of years, right? He is really good at recruiting and he's really good with quarterbacks, right? And Bryce Underwood, you know, obviously he has the tools that can make him successful in the future, in his
Nobody
size
wants
and
to see
everything.
a Michigan offense with Lincoln Riley and Bryce Underwood. I'll tell you that firsthand. And imagine what he
Yeah.
would do in the portal.
Oh
Imagine
yeah.
the talent he could surround Bryce Underwood with.
But the thing is, right? It comes down to recruiting in SoCal or recruiting in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Like
Lincoln Riley
the
recruits nationwide. Let's
he
be
does.
honest.
And don't get me wrong, right? Like he recruited people to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, right? Like there was that aspect, but like it's easier to recruit kids to Southern California because it's Cali, right, than it is to recruit guys to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Um, but I'm not negating
NIL.
that. I think that is actually a pretty good
Mm.
coaching option for Michigan to go after. I do like that.
And my last one of the top three is Brian Kelly. Number one,
Oh,
listen, just hear me out. Number one, it's just a fit. Let's be honest, it's a fit. Like you can't tell me Brian Kelly does not fit at Michigan.
he does. Like he spent all
He's
that
a
time up
CEO
there
coach.
at Notre Dame. Like
He,
I
yeah,
understand the thought process. I don't know. I mean, you just had your head ex coach get fired for having an inappropriate relationship and allegedly getting arrested for assault. I don't think Brian Kelly is a hire after something like that, right? Like I don't know. There's too much
but
controversy that can come out of Brian Kelly hire than there is, like a Lincoln Riley or a John Gruden or who's the first name that you mentioned, Kalen DeBoer, right? There's a lot less controversy. I think those fit better. I don't think Brian Kelly's a bad one. I just I, he wouldn't if I was a Michigan AD. He would not be in my top five to go after.
and the AD might be in some trouble too. Allegedly, they tried paying the girl off.
Oh, oh, that.
Josh Pate reported that Michigan's athletic department knew about this before it broke, but they were trying to keep their signing class together.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
we'll see
There,
what comes of that.
yeah. There's a lot,
But
and
let me explain to you why I
obviously,
like Brian Kelly. Let me explain.
yeah.
He's
Okay.
a fit. Like he's a northern guy. I never thought he was a fit at LSU. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
he got some talent there, but he's a CEO coach. He's just gonna be the head coach. He's not gonna try to run the offense or run the defense.
yeah,
He's gonna hire great people under him to do what they're known to do. He can recruit. I mean, he had Bryce Underwood committed to LSU till the 11th hour of signing day,
yeah. Mr. Dave
and that
Portnoy
would
came in
probably
through
help
the
you
band,
retain.
through the millions at him.
And the Oracle guy. You cannot forget the Oracle guy when it comes to Michigan.
I just like saying the Dave Portnoy. It gives a little bit of clout that we can hop onto.
Yeah. But that would absolutely help retain Bryce Underwood.
It would.
And
I don't disagree.
my wild card, and it has everything to do with how the college football playoffs just played out, is Marcus Freeman.
No, no, he's not.
Yes,
He is not. He's not leaving Notre Dame. He is not. He is Notre Dame. He's got Notre Dame blood through and through. He is not. He is not leaving Notre Dame. It's just not happening.
Marcus Freeman. Watch
You
the
know.
name.
One that I kind of I think would be a crazy hire. I kind of like the Manny Diaz from Duke.
I don't hate it. I
like
really
that's
don't. I think I think his first head coaching experience that I remember at Miami, it didn't go well. But he goes to Penn State and is the DC that they needed. They just couldn't fill an offense to support him. And now he goes to Duke. Had them one measly win away from a college football spot. Argue with the wall, but he did.
that's what I'm saying. Like you go in right. Like obviously his
I
track.
don't hate the man he is. I feel
He's
like he'd be more of a fit at Penn State. I don't know why they didn't go after him.
and again, right? Like it's hard to go get the same
And
job again twice, right?
Matt
Like it's
Campbell wouldn't have been a bad hire, but Penn State scooped him up.
yeah,
Or
like
imagine if if this job opened up, they could have got James Franklin. He would have jumped on that. He would have
oh
jumped at the opportunity to play Penn State once a year.
oh
I
a hundred
guarantee
percent,
it.
a hundred
The
percent.
way they handled him,
And that's why I think the Manny Diaz hire, obviously turned Duke into a pretty formidable, right? You go out, you win the ACC. You're able to get good recruits in, and their quarterback and their running back that they have out there. I I don't think it's terrible. Again, I don't.
but you know what my favorite part about coaching fires is?
What?
What happens to the roster?
That is the biggest, and that's the $1 million question right now, right? Because
There's 9 names I'm watching right now that
okay,
whoever Michigan hires, they better prioritize these 9 names, or Michigan is going to be in for a bit of a slump, I would say.
and obviously there's one name above them all that we've already brought up a few times.
Oh, there's only one name that can be number one,
Yeah,
and that's Mr. $19 million Bryce Underwood,
yeah. So
sophomore quarterback, former number one player in the nation. You get a head coach to build around Bryce Underwood, Lincoln Riley, for example, you're
mhm.
set.
and that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna kind of rattle these off to you. Once you say the names, I'm gonna kind of be like, where do you think their best fit if they were to transfer would be? Um,
Okay,
Bryce
I like
Underwood.
that idea. I like that.
Bryce Underwood, obviously, I think. I
LSU,
yeah, I was about to say. I
Lane
think if
Kiffin and
he,
Bryce Underwood.
yeah, I think if he doesn't, I think if Bryce
Sorry,
Underwood,
Tyler, if you're listening to this.
I think if Bryce Underwood leaves, I think it is to an SEC team. I think it is probably LSU. Um, you
That would
know,
be ironic. Flipping from LSU the day before or the weeks before signing day,
yeah,
and then going right back after your coach gets fired. I would also watch Miami there because there was a report
yeah.
that
That was the
Miami's
next.
ready to
That was
break
the
the
next.
bank for a quarterback again.
Yeah,
I'll give you a
that was
top
another
two.
name, right? Like
I'll
that
give you
was
a
another
top two
one.
for each player.
Yeah, like I think Miami and LSU are probably the front runners.
Yeah,
Obviously
for
Miami's
sure.
been kind of shelling out a lot of money for quarterbacks that were good at their school but not quite great.
I
Um,
got a sleeper pick for Bryce Underwood though.
okay, let me hear it.
Penn State,
Uh,
not Penn State, not Penn State. Excuse me, Virginia Tech.
I could see
James Franklin's
Virginia.
gonna
I
need a
could see
quarterback.
Virginia. I could see Virginia Tech. I thought they just
Like
had. I
Texas
thought they have
Tech.
a. No, not Texas Tech.
Texas
I
Tech
see
could
Virginia
shell out
Tech.
some money.
Obviously, Texas Tech got the oil money out there, but I
Yeah.
think Virginia Tech, I
And
like that
Brennan,
one. But I thought they had a younger quarterback in right now at Virginia Tech, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
Kyra Jones is done.
I don't, I don't, I don't know. But
Ready
you
to move
you did
on? Number
say,
two?
yeah, you have a few names we need to rattle off here.
I got a list, buddy.
Yeah, we're not going to keep this video long. We want to keep it short, sweet, get it out, and that kind of thing. So we're probably running on about 5-10 minutes here. So um,
Yeah.
let's rattle these
So
off
I'll just
right
spit
quick.
the name out. You ask me the top two. We'll get going. All
Okay,
right, number
yeah.
two is sophomore edge Nate Marshall, former top 100 recruit. In my opinion, the dude's got every tool in the bag to be a future first round draft
hmm
pick.
I'm going to say
And if
this
he
with a
were to
lot of.
transfer,
There's only one
I
spot you want
know.
to come to as an edge rusher. If you are a top edge rusher in the country, there's one spot and there's one school you want to come to, and if you really want to make yourself elite. And guess what? It's that beautiful little middle logo right there. We
I hate to tell you, Nate Marshall, Auburn commit for leading up to like a week. It was 2 days before signing day. Actually, he flipped to Michigan.
that's a
Auburn's defensive line coach, who was recruiting him, is from Chicago, the same little suburb Nate Marshall's from. So Auburn would be the one to watch there. And I don't hate the OU suggestion. I think y'all are set on edge rusher and wouldn't really need them.
we're
I would
graduating
watch Ohio
26
State with him.
seniors. Like we're graduating
Yeah,
26
yeah,
seniors, and we're getting decimated like our front seven.
yeah.
Brent Venables was able to reload in this past recruiting class, but you're gonna need some age. You're gonna need some grown men to put in front of these baby little freshmen because they're not gonna be ready to play. Not likely ready to play.
But I would watch Ohio State, honestly.
I would. That's not
Nate
that's not a bad
Marshall's a
pick.
heck of a talent.
That's not a bad pick.
All right, moving on. Number three, Andrew Babalola. He's a redshirt freshman because he tore his ACL this year in training camp.
hmm
But former 5 star, first round potential, 6'7". Don't do it. 330-pound offensive tackle, your future blindside protector. The two schools I'm watching here are Oklahoma and Stanford. His recruitment came down to Michigan and Auburn, but the two coaches that recruited him to Auburn were Jake Thornton and Hugh Freeze. They're out of here. I'm personally glad. But I don't think Auburn's going to be considered much in this unless they just throw a Yellowwood bag at them.
Yeah.
But Stanford and Oklahoma were also major players in his recruitment, so I would watch them two very closely with this one.
I could see that. Obviously, right, our O line at OU has not been what it needs to be, but Stanford, right, they did really good in bringing back, Andrew Luck into the football ops side of it, and so I think Andrew Luck, you know, knows what it takes to kind of have, that it factor back in the day. Him, Christian McCaffrey, like, they were stacked. So I think I could see Andrew Luck pushing pretty hard for him. If they've already recruited him once, I could see them pushing real hard. Obviously, we're going to need O line help. Our O line, we're really young, um, but I could see that happening. Who's that next name on your list though?
The next name is Carter Meadows, a 20 class of 2026 5-star edge. Now
Okay.
you may be asking, should they worry about a kid that just signed last week to transfer?
Mhm.
With any coaching fire, all players are granted a 30-day window to transfer 5 days after the new coach is hired. And you got to think a lot of these top signings were really close to Sherrone Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, Northern guy from about the same area.
Where do
And
you?
I really don't know who Carter Meadows would transfer to. He's from the DC area, so obviously I would watch Ohio State
Mhm.
and potentially South Carolina. They've done a great job recruiting that area.
Could we?
You could watch Virginia. You could watch Virginia Tech
That's what
because
I was gonna
it
say.
does appear James Franklin did offer him one at Penn State. That'd be a good one to watch.
Right. I think you kind of look at where a lot of these coaches recruit, right? Like for example, I just know Oklahoma more than anybody. Like we recruit pretty heavily in the DMV,
East
Florida.
Texas, West Texas, North
Yeah.
Texas, you
Like
name it.
Yeah, like DMV, Florida, and Texas are kind of where we stay at, including our own state. But those are kind of the big 3 states. You know, Obviously, like I,
Y'all
I
been
like.
dabbling a little in the middle Georgia.
A little bit.
I
We're
was
trying
trying
to
to
get
get
our
in there.
toes wet in there. If we're gonna be in the SEC, we got to do it. But I like the Virginia Tech one. The Virginia Tech one I think is
Yeah.
probably the biggest option there.
All
I
right.
think I
Up
could see James
next
Franklin come in.
is up next. I got five-star running back in the class of 26, Savion Hyder.
Hmm.
I'm only watching Tennessee here. His recruitment came down to Tennessee. Apparently, that he was silently committed to Tennessee at one point. If Savion Hyder enters the portal and enters the portal, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it Tennessee.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Tyler, again, I'm sorry if you're hearing this.
and again, right? Like, we've said it before. You're really good with the Jimmies and Joes. So like this right here is your kind of ball. This is your ballpark right here. So,
Savion Hyder and a Josh Heupel offense, I personally do not want to see.
dude, yeah, that's something I don't want to. I mean, any 5-star athletic, you know, skill guy that comes into a Josh Heupel offense is quite terrifying.
Yeah,
Um, who I think that's been like 5 or 6. We should be getting kind of towards
that
the end of the
was
list
5.
here. What are the next 3? I think 3 or 4 that you got for us.
All right, this next one, his name is Ty Haywood. He was a consensus top 100. He's going to be a sophomore offensive tackle this year.
Okay.
From Denton, Texas, Caleb. That ain't too far from you.
Hey, I mean, the kind of
So
the
with
North
saying
Texas
that,
area.
off of the tackles, OU's produced a good bit of offensive tackles.
Yes, we have our coach, Baumgard.
But,
I think that's how you say his
but
name.
I'm watching 3 schools here, though.
Okay.
Looking at his offer list out of high school. OU,
Mhm.
Texas A&M, and
Okay.
Alabama. I think Alabama was really big in this recruitment.
I think honestly, I think we're probably third on that list. I think Alabama and A&M are going to have their hands in that pot on that
Oh, yeah,
one.
for sure.
I think we're kind of out of that on that one. Um, who's kind of that next name?
Um,
I we're giving the house too much right now. I would say
oh,
enough.
yeah, for sure, for
Because we
sure.
got we got our big video coming out tomorrow, that we can kind of dabble in this more, talk more in depth about stuff like this. Obviously, there's going to be more news come out. So obviously, in the long form video that we're giving you tomorrow, you'll hear more about this. We'll kind of touch. There's people jumping in the portal left and right now. The portal's starting to get really
Oh, yeah.
active, so we'll be able to talk about that, um, and maybe some other things for you. We don't know yet. Just stay tuned.
Next, we got sophomore corner Shamari Earls. Played
Okay.
really good as a freshman this year. 2 schools I'm really watching here are probably going to be Georgia and South Carolina. With a sleeper pick, I would watch Virginia Tech. It does look like James Franklin did pursue him some.
Okay. I could see Georgia reloading pretty heavily in that. That's probably my number one
They're
on
going to
that.
have to. I don't think Georgia's going to have to reload as much people think. That defense is really young and it's played really good.
It has, but right in the football sense, it never hurts to have age at a position, in the
Oh,
sense of
never,
like
never.
leadership and honestly more depth, right? Because Georgia's making a run to the national championship every year, and when you get into these,
May
14,
or may not have
15,
placed a future bet on them yesterday.
like when you get into 14, 15, 16 games, you got to have depth, and you got to have
Oh, yeah.
to a point to where there's age there at that depth too. This should be the final name, though, if I'm not mistaken. I
Got 2
probably am.
more.
Okay, okay,
2 more. All right, number 8. We got sophomore wide receiver Andrew Marsh.
okay.
Marsh. He was a consensus top 150 player in the nation in his class of 25. And I believe he was their leading receiver as a freshman.
I I know exactly what you're talking about. Him and Cortland Guillory got into it a lot in the OU Michigan game. He is a
Yeah.
really good receiver. Obviously, I would
And
love to be in that, but
how funny would it be if Cortland Guillory and Andrew Marsh were going at it next year in practice? Because 2 schools I'm watching here, he looks like he's from East Texas. I'm not too familiar with my Texas geography, but
what's the town name?
Fulshire? Oh, it's Katy.
Oh,
Katy
okay.
Jordan High
He's
School.
down in the Houston area. Okay,
Yeah. So two schools I'm really watching here are again Texas and Oklahoma because it does look like Brent Venables did offer him out of high school.
okay,
May have been a Seth Luttrell thing. Doesn't show a recruiter,
okay.
but if you're a wide receiver, why would you not want to play in
A Ben
which was
Arbuckle
OSU's name
offense.
again? Yeah, the Ben
Yeah.
Arbuckle offense. And last name, Biggest name, second biggest name for last. Bryce Underwood. It's number one, clearly. Justice Haynes, your junior running back. He got hurt. He's probably going to hold off another year if you're going pro.
Hmm.
Former 5-star running back. Your leading rusher was an absolute dog.
Yeah. Could we see
I'm not
him
too
jump back to
familiar with what.
Alabama?
Not in the Kalen DeBoer offense. They would need Kalen DeBoer would need to take the Michigan job,
Hmm.
and Alabama would need to hire Lane Kiffin for me to think that Justice Haynes would go back to Alabama.
So maybe we're thinking possibly in LSU, maybe in Ohio State as a top two, possibly.
I don't I don't think LSU. I think Kawan Lacey's going to follow Lane Kiffin there.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
Kawan Lacey probably should have been invited to the Heisman ceremony this year, for being honest. I think he was beating Jeremiah Love in some categories, not all.
yeah, he just won first team All SEC running back. So um,
Let me see.
obviously when we talk about it, right? Obviously Ohio State's always going to have their hand in everything, right? I don't know how much Ohio State's going to have their hand in
They don't need a
picking.
running back.
That's
They
why,
they
and
have
that's the
Bo
thing,
Jackson for
right?
the next 3 years.
How much are they going to dip into their arch rivals cookie jar,
Here's
so to
one
say?
for you.
Okay,
Florida.
I could see it. Add a vet.
He's from Roswell, Georgia. Maybe what I don't think that Georgia Tech would need him. I mean, Georgia would need him necessarily. I mean, you got
No,
Nate Frazier for another year at least.
they're not going to need him. I like the Florida
Who
pick
else offered
because
this
that would
kid?
be that would put a vet in the backfield with DJ Lagway and a completely brand new
Yeah, he's got
offense under
Jaden
a new
Ball,
head
and
coach.
Jaden Ball is more than serviceable running back.
But you got to think too at the
Here's
running
one.
back
I,
position.
I know who we're watching now.
Okay.
Notre Dame, and you're gonna like this next one. Oklahoma,
No, we're set at running backs. Well, I
Miami.
mean,
Uh, it's watch Miami with this one.
yeah. That's the thing is like Oklahoma. Yes, that would be nice, but we're set with Troy Baylock, the freshman, and we've got
No.
Xavier
Mm-mm.
Robinson, the sophomore. We're
If
set back
Justin
there.
Haynes wants to come to Oklahoma, you take Justice Haynes.
I don't know. We there's got to be some O line help, but you know,
I mean, you can get his 5-star left tackle and his 4-star right tackle teammates.
yeah.
There's some O line help.
Well, we've kind of ran a little bit long here.
Just
Obviously,
a little over.
just a little too long. But the positive is, Jared, we're gonna be dropping a video for him tomorrow. Our longer form,
Motto.
exactly. We'll be able to actually get more in depth on this. We'll kind of go over some stuff. Obviously, we're gonna, want to hear from y'all, but like going over, content ideas if y'all would like to see it. Transfer portal's ramping up pretty heavily here, so Jared, recruiting news with you is gonna come out pretty heavily. Um,
Oh, it's coming.
Obviously, I want to do some film sessions with, the house and everything, but overall, we really just wanted to break the news to y'all. Obviously, this is a huge deal. Very shocking, very sad. Um, you know, we're praying for everybody that was involved in this type of situation. Um, but Jared, do you have anything else for the house, or you good?
Just want to thank them for tuning in and get ready for the big one tomorrow.
Hey, I I I back that 100%. Well, with that being said, make sure you love each other. Make sure you tell the people that you love them. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night.